What is up, YouTube? This is your boy Mr. Marvel back with another video tonight. Oh, yeah, gonna talk about something. I don't know what exactly, but I'll get into our topic in a little bit. I was gonna talk about let's talk about the Joker. Let's talk about the Jokers over the years. And get into that topic for a little bit, and I'll talk about I'll talk about Harley Quinn as well. There's something I want to mention about her as well in this video. So yeah, talking about Jokers, the Jokers over the years that they've had, from Jack Nicholson, the first ever Joker, whoever we'll forget his name, and then Nicholson, and then you had, Ledger, and then you got, Jared Leto, and then you got, Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, I would say the best Joker out of any of them would probably be Nicholson, and, of course, Ledger, because Nicholson and Ledger were the best two that they've done so far in the series, because they've done so many different Jokers. It's like you can't really say that one's bad, one not. It's just they're all good no matter what. I mean, the original Joker that did it, he was good. Between him, Nicholson, and Ledger were good. Leto and Joaquin Phoenix, I really haven't seen Joaquin Phoenix yet as Joker yet, so we will see that in theaters. Jared Leto we've seen as Joker. He's pretty good. Not bad, but good. Good. I mean, I give him credit for what he's done over the years. I mean, very good actor. Starred in a bunch of other films as well. Very good, Margot Robbie. I can't say it. I can never say her name. The one who plays Joker. Very, one of the ways Harley Quinn stars. Very, very good. She's a very good actress. She's very good with Harley Quinn, and I think she's going to be a really fantastic role for the next Suicide Squad movie. And for own solo movie that they're going to do, I did question that a little bit. Like, is there really a point of her doing a solo movie as Harley Quinn? I mean, is that even a really good role for her to do as Quinn? I mean, I don't know if that's really going to make any difference. Her already being in Suicide Squad, being part of Gotham, in the Batman series and all that stuff. It's like, is there really a point of her being in that at all? I mean, I didn't really kind of question a little bit. It's like, she's been in so many other things, and Harley Quinn says that kind of character in video games and everything else, and we haven't seen her yet in a TV series of Gotham yet, so I've not seen that. But she's just a typical villain that's was a typical nurse that worked, psychologist worked in Arkham Asylum, and pretty much came from there after that and just snapped. So I mean, I think her as Harley Quinn is good, but doing a solo movie of that, I don't know if that's really a good move on DC, but I think if it could work, it could work. But I did have my questions of doubt of it. I did doubt a little bit of the Joker, movie, and putting Joker in there again. They've done it so many freaking times. It's like it gets kind of annoying. It's like we really don't want to see another change of Joker so many times with this specific era. We figured we wait until Justice League or Suicide Squad 2 to see what happens with that. But I could see them change. I could probably see them change the Joker again. I mean, I don't know if Jared Leto's going to do it again. I really don't know. I mean, there's been questions of doubts of that as I've seen, I mean, not in reports, but I've seen it, and it's just you do question it sometimes. It's will Joaquin Phoenix be the next Joker for Justice League, or will he do something else? I don't know. I really don't know what they're doing, or or anything of it. But I think them doing this now, if this really works for him, then it could work. But I mean, again, if Heath Ledger was still around, he'd be perfect. He'd really be good for this role, because I think he'd be really excellent for Joker and for Justice League and all that as well. It'd make more sense. Seeing for Suicide Squad 2, even for his solo movie, it makes sense, because you could really have an actor like that that has experience with this, and you can put him in. I get they want to put in more older, younger actors to get into this role, but I mean, to me, it just fits. It really fits the role of how Joker has become what he is, and the iconic villain that he's faced with Batman over the years. It's just really, really good, and I think they should really just keep it kind of classic, not edgy. Of course, edgy, violent. You gotta have all that because anything colorful with DC, because that just makes no sense. A little about doing that. Like, it's like, now that would just really kind of screw it up. It's like, that'd be crap, and be like, really, what the fuck were they thinking by doing that? That's a really forbidden move. But I mean, like I said, the DCU has done so many things over the years with Jokers, and from the cartoon characters, which is great. From Mark Hamill doing that, excellent Jokers. The guy doing as well, great with those voices. But they've done so many different things with the Jokers in the DC universe. It's like you again, you would figure they keep one Joker for every movie, and then if they want to change it up, they could. But again, they want to try to get new people for it, and I hope this one that Joaquin Phoenix does makes sense, and I hope he's really good with it. I think it's kind of a good role for him. In sense that it's got a bit of a dark side, but it works. I never questioned much about Harley Quinn or Margot Robbie doing Harley Quinn at all. I've always thought that was really good for her, a really good role for her to do. And again, doing the Harley Quinn solo movie with other actresses, it might be successful, but I had my kind of doubts with it at first. But I don't know if I don't think I doubt it much anymore. But if I had to, if it really wasn't great, it would be something they would consider doing. But again, if they consider it to be a good idea, fine, let's go with it and see how it goes. But if it flops and fails, then again, I really say it's gonna really say, oh, this is gonna suck, and it's gonna bite him in the ass. But I think it's gonna be really successful to do. I've never heard of a Harley Quinn solo movie before. I've never figured they'd do that in the sense that it would work for them. But if they're desperate enough to do it, then desperate times calls with desperate message, then do it. I mean, it works, but you want to keep things original. You want to keep it unique enough to say that this is going to be work for them, and it will work years to come, that it's going to be successful and they have what they need for these movies, and I think it could work. But again, they've run into a few issues with other things. It's just like you never figured that DC would have these kind of problems to deal with, and they would say, okay, this could work for this and this, but how come this fails? And then something else comes up, and then that works, and then if that doesn't work, then what do you do? It's like they question. I do question that. I don't know if DC has their heads on tight enough to figure out that there's a few bumps in the road they need to get on that. Can they be successful with other moves that they're coming out with for next year? And I think as well. As well. So it'll be good for them, but it has to be good enough for them to say this is gonna work. To come in the future, that will this be successful enough? Will it work for them to make to be for the fan base and make plenty of money and all that stuff? It's just, will it work? Will it be a fail? I don't know. I figured that they would have a few issues with other things, but they haven't. I mean, again, they have not cast anybody yet for Arrow or John Jones or, like I said, Green Lantern yet. I mean, they have everybody else, but they haven't had that yet. So they really need to get on that eventually, which they will. I did question that. Like, they really should have tried to put that into Justice League, at least the end of it or something. I mean, they did show clips of it in the movie. People flying around, a few characters here and there, but I think they started introducing somewhat more characters into Shazam, maybe Aquaman. Hopefully, we see something there, because we want to be amazed that this is gonna work for them, and they're willing to do that and put that into the movies like Marvel has with their thing. But again, you look at it from any perspective, it's like they really need to figure out how this is gonna work if they do it from any perspective, anywhere, from any movie or whatever actresses that these for playing parts in this stuff, it needs to fit. And like I said, if this Joker thing works out, then congrats, because it's going to be successful. We have a Joker, but I mean, I really do wonder if they're going to change it again, because I think they will. And I don't know if they can't keep Jokers, or they want to try something new, or think it's going to be innovative for them. It has to stick for us, because it has to work. Like, if they have a good Joker, keep that person who plays Joker. Don't constantly change. If you want to change it, then fine. That's Hollywood. They change shit. But if a Joker works and it sticks and the fans like it, keep it. Don't fucking change it and then not have that person back because they didn't like it, or the person had a bad review or something. It has to stick. It's like you really have to really think about that Harley enough to think that it would work or not. And again, with Batman's, it's the same thing. It's like they've switched up Batman so much over the years. As well. And again, I do question it sometimes. Like, I think to myself, like, does any of these Batmans that they've used over the years work for them? Does anything at all really work? Period. And again, they've had Ben Affleck as Batman now, and it works. Same thing with the guy who plays Henry. That plays Superman Henry, it works. Well, same thing. Wonder Woman and everybody else, that works. But It's just like any character, iconic character that we use from comic books or for anything, it has to work well enough for us fans to say, okay, this is gonna work. It's gonna be successful enough to say, I'm gonna go see this movie. I'm a fan, but if it flops and fails, then it's like, okay, this sucks. I'm not gonna see it again. It has to be a really good movie to say, I want to own this movie and buy it again and watch it and own it and see how and watch it again until I get my you know point of view, of course, with this. It has to be really good enough to say, okay, any movie that they do of the DC universe now has to be ranked like the most best movies ever. And if they can't really get that point, of course, then they're screwed because they won't have a chance to really think about what they really need to do years to come. Like, we need to really pick up a game and step it up. And it's like, about time because, fans could turn on, like, DC in seconds and they're like, alright, screw this because you're already doing DC Titans, which sucks. You have a great TV series of Arrow and Flash and Legends and, Black Light and all that, which is great. That works. But, if the movie stuff doesn't work out, and I think it will, but if it didn't, it'd be like a really bad flop for him and maybe like kick himself in the ass, like, okay, this sucks and I'm not happy with it. But if you can look at it from any other perspective of fan base or directors or producers or whatever, they would probably say something different from what we would say, like, we're working on this, we're trying to figure things out, get together, and all that stuff. Yeah, well, that's something we would say too, because we're not in their shoes. If they were in our shoes, from our perspective, from our fan base, they would listen to us and say, okay, we can do this, we can do that, but, then how come you're not doing anything? How come you're not listening? If you listen to us fans, we tell you what we would like to see you possibly do, suggest some things, it would work out better for them. And to me, it kind of makes sense to do that in a way because you really need to look at it from anybody's perspective. Anybody at all that would say the same thing, like, oh, this Batman wouldn't work, or this Joker wouldn't work, or, this Harley Quinn wouldn't work, or oh, he's not right for this part, or she's not right for this, or I'll use him, or use her. Stuff like that. They really have to think about what actors or actresses that they use for these movies are going to work for them. And if it doesn't work for them, then they're going to realize that they suck at it and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they completely fail that. They kick themselves in the ass like this needs to work because it has to work for us fan base, because the fan base is very important to us. Like, we need to keep this stuff alive. If you can't do that, then you just suck in general because you don't give two shits about the fans. And if you did that, if you didn't care about us, then we would it'd be like a win-lose, which would be an easy loss for them because they would lose so many fans because if they disrespected us in any way or something bad about something, it would be like a war breaking out. But again, in anybody's point of view from anything, if anybody has an opinion about anything of this, and they have a right to, because we have a right to say like, oh, we don't like this movie, we can put our input, say, give a point of view, reviews, and say this, say that, because we have a right to it. They cannot say, oh, we disagree, but no, we agree with this, but you're disagreeing with us, because we could say different things, and they still fight us on it. It's like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? We're trying to put our input on this, and we like to put our point of view on this. Can we speak out? And we do. And if they, like I said, they do listen to the fans. I think sometimes if they listen to them at all, but again, it's just questions and answers we all have for different things. It kind of comes into conclusion where this works, but does it really succeed our expectations of our high levels of, can this be a great thing for them, but is it great for us? Like, we will be excited to see this in this person to do this, but you just wonder that, and I wonder it too, because as a fan, you really want to say that I'm proud to see this movie. I recommend it from any other fan out there that would like to see this kind of type of movie. I like to go see it. I recommend it, but if I don't recommend seeing a specific movie of it, then then I wouldn't go see it. But if it's worth watching, then hell yeah, I'm gonna go watch it. But if it's gonna suck and flop, then how am I going to? Because I'm not gonna waste my time and effort and money that I'm gonna see some really bad film that they made that wouldn't be great, but I think that they can really pick it up and say that they would be really good at it. But who knows? It's a fan's perspective from a fan's perspective from any point of view. You can only say so much about so many things with this stuff that you really can't argue the point as much as we should. It's just we have a say. Let us speak up. Let us speak. That's what I pretty much said. Like, we have a right to speak about this stuff, and we as fans are not wrong. Fans do speak out about this stuff. I doubt they really do, but if they did it, we have a right to say something because we have an opinion to put in here. If we don't like our Joker, or if we don't like our Harley Quinn or Batman, people say it, and I agree with that. We're allowed to speak our mind, but people have no problem with the Harley Quinn we have now, or we may have a problem with the Joker with John Leno, but if we did, then they would speak their mind about it. I have no problem with it. They can use whoever they want, but long as they use somebody that it works and it sticks, then yeah, it's going to be successful. But if it didn't, then we would say, like, okay, this is going to work. They should change it, but they won't. So that's not going to go say, hey, we'd like your opinion on this. No, it's just us, in a fan's point of view, we have a right to say that if something didn't fit right, we could speak out about it and or Twitter, put on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, or Instagram. It makes sense. You can do that kind of stuff, And look, that's just my general opinion about this. That's all. Just something I pretty much wanted to say and make sense to do it. So, so all good with that. Until then, this is your boy, Mr. Marvel. Like, subscribe to this video. Like and subscribe to this video. If you have any comments, please leave it. But please leave it in the description of the video. Until then, peace.